of the garden of what they would call the Last Supper, but we're going to call it the supper before last. And he brought remember I told you how he opened the scriptures up to the two on the road to Emmaus? There's times he does that to me. He just opens the scriptures up. Me and Deborah pray a lot of time. Give me ears to hear. Give me eyes to see. And give me a heart to understand. And I promise you, if you give him time, he will open up windows. And that's a good lesson in itself. And he'll speak to you. If you can prove to him that you got time to sit there, see, because Jeremiah 29, Isaiah, which one is it? Isaiah 49:23, I think it is. They that wait upon the Lord will not be ashamed. Remember what Philippians 1:20 says? It says,
we wouldn't have any shame.
According to my expectation. And we need to learn say these three words real quick. I will not. Because that's what Paul said. According to my expectation, I will not be ashamed. We need to hold God to his scriptures and say, I will not be denied. I can tell Deborah, what can I say? I can tell her, or she can tell me, get a good example. You can have a good example. But both of us have the wherewithal to say, I will not do that. Mm-hmm. If she was to say, let's just don't pay our bills this month, I will not allow that. Or if I was to say, let's just blow all our money, she'd say, I will not allow that. There's a time she knows she can put her foot down. There's a time I know when I can put my foot down. But with the enemy, it stays down. I will not. So when the Lord began to open the scriptures up to me Thursday, he took me into this. Now, God has been good to us. I want you to think for a minute, looking at the past Bible studies, these have been truly from the Lord. They hadn't been from my imaginations or my thoughts. He started out with blessings and privileges and what else was it? Rights, benefits, and privileges. And he was opening up the scriptures to us, and he was telling us what our rights were, what our benefits are, what our privileges are. He's had a plan all along. And he's moving us into a direction of standing with him for us to grow, move, and more importantly, affect things not only in your life, in the life of your family, but if you walk with him long enough, he will be able to affect the direction of the nation from you. I can say with no attention drawn towards us, without a single doubt, and I won't go into it with you, but me and Deborah, our prayers are changing the direction of this nation and changing things in this nation. And that's where God wants to take every one of his children. Not that it just changes the things in their lives, but that he can use them through prayer to change a whole nation. Very powerful. So that's where God was with us, teaching us to learn to change things in our life, physically, financially, spiritually, emotionally, and domestically. And he moved us past that into lesson a couple of weeks ago that he cares for us. That if it's in our deepest, most darkest, troubling moment, if it's in a boat and we're really about to go down because of the storm, that he lets us know he cares. He truly cares for everything in my life. He truly cares about everything that you're faced with, that you're going through, that you may be faced with at your moment when you're by yourself crying your eyes out because of pain in your heart and you feel like no one cares. He was telling us that I am there and I do care. And he loves us. And then he brought us further down the road after that last week, and he was trying to get us to the position of Philippians 1:20, where we say, now my expectations, now we've had Bible studies when he could show us what our rights and our benefits and our privileges are. He showed us that he cares for us in the midst of our troubles and our trials and our battles and our struggles. And then he was showing us that we need to learn to stand up and say, my expectations, and I asked you last week, what are your expectations? So what expectations do you have from God, on God? Do you have any? And if my memory serves me right, I don't know if anyone said that they had expectations or not. But if we don't ever expect anything, we're never going to receive nothing.
I've never expected anything.
The worst thing,
Do you have any?
you remember when the children, the disciples was in the boat this one other time, and Jesus had sent them over to the other side, but he wasn't in the boat with them. And you remember where when Jesus came to them in the middle of the night, what's the first thing he said? It's a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even think it was Jesus. You know why? Because they wasn't expecting Jesus to come. First thoughts are, this is demonic. Ain't that terrible?
Yes.
You go right to the demonic when it's Christ. That's bad. But they weren't expecting. We've got to learn where we're expecting. If you don't expect nothing, you're not going to receive.
So I didn't know we could expect anything. Seriously, that's why the last studies were so mind-changing,
mind.
blowing. Yeah, yes.
If you don't expect to receive, you're going to get exactly what's coming to you. Nothing. But I'm not talking about blindly expecting stuff that's not in his will or foolishness.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about expecting things according to rights, benefits, and privileges.
Yeah.
And being authoritative in them. So we're at the place, as I reiterated to you this morning, that our position needs to be, I will not to the powers of darkness. And don't quit, don't give up. No matter what the symptoms may be, no matter what it may look like, don't change your position. Your position is, I will not accept this, no matter what. So Thursday, the Lord began to open this up, and he said, it's not time for seed time and harvest. But he said, this is all about hurt. I'm not hurting. I wasn't in the middle of hurting. Wasn't down. I wasn't depressed. I'm not on no medication that's changing me, making me feel differently. And I walked this floor, and he went through the scenario of the Last Supper, before the Last Supper. And he took me into that room, and he opened things up to me that no one has ever spoke of, noticed, seen, and it's right there in the Word the whole time. And when he opened up and he showed me things, I literally just bawled my eyes out. And I couldn't stop crying. And I'd walk this floor in here, amazed at what he had just shown me. And I was like, I'm confounded. You know, the Bible says he's touched with the feelings of our infirmities. Mm-hmm. He was able to take me to let me feel a little bit of what Peter felt that day. The story of Peter and his denial is not according to tradition that we've heard. Something much more deeper than that. It's not about the denial. It's all about the hurt that was in Peter. And when I started feeling what Peter was feeling, I said, Lord, I seen Peter in a whole new light, and I understood him. And I said, no wonder. And then he gave me, capital H, capital E. I really don't know whether this was the Holy Spirit or whether this was Jesus with me that was teaching me on Thursday. I don't know. That's one of the things I think people would think I'm crazy if I said that, because I know Jesus said the Comforter is come and he'll teach you and he'll lead you, he'll guide you and he'll instruct you, etc. But I don't know, because so much of it was in the singular. So much of it was shown to me Thursday was done and said in the singular, not in the from the Holy Spirit's point of view as an outsider. This was more from like Jesus that was showing me, and this is what we're going to get into. So turn to Luke chapter 22. We're going to read verses 14 through 53. Anyone need to go to the bathroom or anything? Some water. Is anybody cold? Luke 22. Let me get there. We're going to start reading verse 14. And we're going to... If you look to verse 45, that goes to what I was telling you a while ago. Then opened he their understanding, that they might understand the scriptures. He can do this to us on a daily basis, something that he hadn't done to no other preacher or that you may know of. And that's what he wants to do. He wants to open the scriptures up to you, that you'll understand. Luke 22 and verse 14. If you'll start reading, Sharon, please, and let's read all the way to verse 53.
And when the hour was come, he sat down, and the 12 apostles with him. And he said unto them, with desire I have desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. For I say unto you, I will not any more eat thereof until it be fulfilled in the kingdom of God. And he took the cup and gave thanks and said, Take this and divide it among yourselves. For I say unto you, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of God shall come. And he took bread and gave thanks and brake it and gave unto them, saying, This is my body, which is given for you. This do in remembrance of me. Likewise, also the cup after supper, saying, This cup is the New Testament in my blood, which is shed for you. But behold, the hand of him that betrayeth me is with me on this table. And truly the Son of Man goeth, as it was determined, but woe unto that man by whom he is betrayed. And they began to inquire among themselves which of them it was that should do this thing. And there was also a strife among them, which of them should be accounted the greatest. And he said unto them, The kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors. But ye shall not be so, but he that is greatest among you, let him be as the younger, and he that is chief as he that doeth serve. For whatever is greater, he that sitteth at meat, or he that serveth? Is not he that sitteth at meat, but I am among you as he that serveth. Ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations. And I appoint unto you a kingdom, as my Father hath appointed unto me, that ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and sit on thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat.
Stop. Now between verse 30 and verse 31, verse 31 is out of place, because Jesus didn't go from verse 30 talking about the 12 tribes in verse 31 that night. Because if you was to look at Matthew, Mark, every writer gives a different account of that night in their own way, and the Holy Spirit's behind it. But Jesus, right in between these two verses, he went into the prophecy when he said, the sheep is going to be scattered tonight. The shepherd will be smitten, and the sheep are going to be scattered. At that point, Peter opens up and says, I won't deny you. And he says, I'm willing to die for you. And then Jesus in verse 31, he comes back with verse 31 and says this. Read it again, please.
Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. And he said unto him, Lord, I am ready to go with thee, both into prison and to death. And he said, I tell thee, Peter, the cock shall not crow this day, before that thou shalt thrice deny that thou knowest me. And he said unto him, when I sent you without purse and scrip and shoes, lack ye anything? And they said, nothing. Then said he unto them, but now he that hath a purse, let him take it, and likewise his scrip. And he that hath no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one. For I say unto you, that this is written, must ye be accomplished in me? And he was reckoned among the transgressors. For the things concerning me have an end. And they said, Lord, behold, here are 2 swords. And he said unto them, it is enough. And he came out and went as he was wont to the Mount of Olives, and his disciples also followed him. And when he was at the place, he said unto them, pray that ye enter not into temptation. And he was withdrawn from them about a stone's cast, and kneeled down and prayed, saying, Father, if thou be willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done. And there appeared an angel unto him from heaven, strengthening him. And being in agony, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat was as it were great drops of blood falling down to the ground. And when he rose up from prayer and was come to his disciples, he found them sleeping for sorrow. And said unto them, why sleep ye? Rise and pray, lest ye enter in temptation. And while he yet spake, behold, a multitude, and he that was called Judas, one of the 12, went before them, and drew near unto Jesus to kiss him. But Jesus said unto him, Judas, betrayest thou the Son of Man with a kiss? When they which were about him saw what would follow, they said unto him, Lord, shall we smite with the sword? And one of them smote the servant of the high priest, and cut off his right ear. And Jesus answered and said, suffer ye thus far. And he touched the ear and healed him. Then Jesus said unto the chief priests and captains of the temple and the elders which were come to him, be ye come out as against a thief with swords and staffs? When I was daily with you in the temple, ye stretched forth no hands against me, but this is your hour and the power of darkness.
Okay, now look back to verse 31. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan has desired to have you. When did Jesus find this out?
When he was praying,
How did he find it out?
I would say the Lord revealed it.
It definitely had to come from the Father. We do know that. Now he's telling something Simon he'd never heard before. He says, Simon, and he tells him before Simon says, I'm not, well, this writer says that Jesus said it before. Matthew, Mark will say that Peter, when Jesus spoke the scripture that the shepherd will be smitten and the sheep will scatter, that they all said they weren't going to do it. And then Jesus said, no, Peter, you will deny me 3 times. So it don't really matter the way, the organization of it, but Jesus says he's desired to have you. And if you go back to the original Greek, reading from Wuest behind him, he's telling Peter that Satan, that word desired, he says there's been a meeting in heaven, and Satan has desired for an opportunity, a trial. That's what trial is really the word trial. That he can have you all to himself with me set over here apart, and I have nothing to do with it. And he's also asked for the rest of the disciples. He wants to put every one of you through a trial. He wants you all to himself. All to himself. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you love me?
Yes.
If you had the ability to help me financially, would you do it?
Yes.
Do you love me? If I needed you to come to my house for some reason to help me, would you do it? Do you love me? If I need help with a scripture or understanding something, I called you, would you be willing to help me? Sure you would. Sure you would. No, any doubt in your mind of that? Mm-mm. Any doubt in your mind? Any doubt in your mind? That's your position, and it's the truth, right? That was Peter's position. So when Christ tells him, Satan's desired to have you, and I'm fixing to step out of the way, because as much latitude as God gives me with y'all, he's got to give Satan the same amount of latitude to try to stop you. So Satan wants a divorce right now between the disciples and Christ. He chose this time because he's smart, he's cunning, and he's wise. He don't start a rift or divorce or problems or things to come up between him and the disciples 2 years before it's the cross time. He starts right at the moment, right before the soldiers come to get him, to cause hurt and a divorce, something to take place that would be so cataclysmic that it would separate them totally. They would say, I don't want nothing to do with them, like you do in a divorce. I've had it with you. I'm through. I'm out. I'll wash my hands of it. But I thought you said when you got married that you would always be there. See what I'm saying? You can say something and quote things before you're married, and you make vows. But that's before hurt comes. See what I'm saying? You don't want them to do it to you tomorrow. I may run you down. God forbid. I won't. That's not my intentions. But if I was the one where Satan has control, ain't no telling what I would do or say or hurt you or you. So we can easily say before we're hurt what we would do, how we would respond.
That's true.
See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Between husbands and wives, things fine until this comes along. You did something to hurt me. I'm hurt. Just get away from me. It's one thing, you can love your kids, but your kids can do something to hurt you, and you can say things and do things to where what you enjoyed just a day or two ago, that's gone. There's no more. That's gone. Kids can say stuff to their parents that hurt. really hurt. Hurt can make you a dog. I had a dog. His name was their names were Ginger and Snaps. We had a male and female, and his name was Ginger. His name was Ginger.
Her name was Ginger.
His was Snaps. But we got it backwards because when she got pregnant and she had puppies and I went to reach for them, she snapped at me. Why'd she do that?
Protection.
Protect me. And then I had a dog one time that was hurting. He had broke his leg. I went to touch it and he snapped at me because he was hurting. He would have never snapped at me before. But he was hurting. You'll do a lot of things when you're hurting that you wouldn't do if you weren't hurting. Even to God, to your relationship, your walk with Him. Why did you quit reading for 2 or 3, 4 days? And you just shut God out? Was it because you were hurting? What happened to you? Was it that argument with your spouse? Was it financial situation where you just said, you don't care, you don't see, therefore you're hurting, so you quit reading, and you quit praying, you quit talking to Him, you just walk away. I thought you said you loved Jesus. I thought you said you enjoyed His fellowship. Why'd you walk away? What did He do to you? Did He do anything to you? He didn't do nothing to you. But when life brings us hurts, we turn around and hurt Him. And He ain't done nothing. Not one thing. But He's loving and He's patient and He wants to bring us to understanding. So we understand ourselves. This is why you're doing what you're doing, Andy. He does it to me over and over and over. This is why you're doing what you just did. And then I see it. Now, look at the word desire. That means He's demanded a trial for these guys. Look in verse 32. Jesus said, I have prayed for you that your faith, this is very important because this definition of faith is the same definition that you use to get saved. It's a moral persuasion or credence. You believe that you decide to follow Him because you think He's righteous and He's God, and you turn it all over to Him. It's the same by faith, by moral persuasion. You come into Christ. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
Okay. This same word faith right here, or this faith is the same word that uses to get you into salvation. So He says that your faith fail not. So what does He mean by that? I was reading behind Wee's translation. His translation says, so that your faith won't have an eclipse. We know what an eclipse is, don't we? It's when one body of light up in the heavens, darkness, something passes before it, causes darkness, and it causes you not to see the light anymore. He's saying, I pray that your faith, what got you in, the first moment that you put your faith in me, whenever it was, that you don't have an eclipse of that. And I said, well, I don't know if I trust Wiest. I'm still at that stage where I have to back up everything I read. So I go to the original and I look to see what does it mean. There it is. It's that word fail is taken from our word eclipse. It means an eclipse. So we're starting to see, he said, Peter, he's wanting to bring a situation into your life, but I've prayed that this eclipse won't be the end. It won't stop you. So then Peter says, oh Lord, oh no, you got it all wrong, Lord. You see, I'm not worried about the eclipse. And I'm not worried about the trial that Satan requested from the Father, about what I'm not worried about what I'm fixing to go through. And you don't have to worry about it because I know what I'm going to do. And you can bank on this. Now, in Luke, it doesn't tell it right, but Mark's gospel does. When you go back to Mark's gospel, and you read this, and you go back to the original Greek, Mark's account says that every single one of them kept going over and over, telling him, we're not going to do this. We're not. They didn't just say it once. They kept saying it over and over and over to Jesus. Well, Jesus knows the truth, don't he?
Yes.
He knows the truth. So he let them say what they're going to say. Hours are slipping away now. It's just moments. Judas is done gone. and they're in the garden. And it's just a few moments before the soldiers are coming. Jesus is running out of time with the words he has left to spend to say to these disciples. He's running out of time. So when they keep telling him this over and over, he drops the subject, gets up, walks to a further place, a stone's throw place, takes with him Peter, James, and John. While he prays, he says, now you stay here and you pray, and I'm going to go further. And then he comes back to Peter and says, Peter, could you not stay awake with me for just an hour so that you don't enter into the temptation? Because the temptation hadn't happened yet. Is the temptation denial of Christ? No. The temptation is entering into this and it having its way in your heart and your life. Let's get that straight. The church world thinks the great temptation that Satan was bringing to him was his denial of Christ. That's not the temptation. That's not the eclipse. What happened before that brings the eclipse. But it's how are you going to wind up when the hurt's there? That's your temptation. Temptation's what you're going to do in the middle of your hurt. You wasn't tempted before your spouse did something, but when your spouse did something, when your child did something, when your family member did something, when your boss did something, and you're hurt, that's the moment of your temptation. How are you going to respond? So, and I'm going to back this up to show it to you. So, then he tells them the time's coming. Up until now, I've taken care of you, I've provided for you, and I've made sure no evil has come to you. But I'm fixing to leave, okay? I'm fixing to leave. Up until now, you've not needed a purse or a scrip or a sword. But now I'm telling you, get a sword. Get a sword. The Gentiles, because he knows that in AD 70, Jerusalem's going to be destroyed. And at some point in time after Christ dies, they're going to have to defend their faith, them and their faith. Now, Swaggart says that Jesus meant, if you read his notes, it says that he meant this figuratively to him, that it didn't really mean go get a sword. But I can't back that up from my study. Going behind J. Vernon McGee and going behind Kenneth Wuest, who's a Greek scholar, in his definition, his translation is, for all reasons and purposes, he told him, go get a sword. He didn't mean a sword, he meant a dagger. When you look at that word sword, it meant a dagger that you just put right here. You see everybody wearing them. A lot of Spanish people wear the little knife right there in their pocket on their belt. That's what he meant, go get a dagger. So when he's running out of time to say things that they need to hear, he mentions this to them, and Peter said, hey, Master, here's 2 swords right here. We have a few. And Jesus says, what does he say?
2 is enough.
That's enough. That's enough. Trying to go slow now. Okay, so now we've got, up until this point, we have the evil request. It's in verse 31. Look at verse 24. Strife is already present in that room, in that area. Strife is present. This supper before last, this Passover supper, we'll say it that way, Satan was there. from this point forward, Christ is no longer. When he looked at Judas and he said, do what you got to do, he let down his authority and his power and said, that's it. There's nothing else I can do. Nothing else for me to do. Satan came in. He entered Judas at the supper and the table. And he's in this Passover supper. Strife is already there. The atmosphere is already charged with powers of darkness. It's one thing for you to go through something that's just normal, everyday, day-to-day problems and difficulties. But when you got a demand by Satan, I want Sharon. I want Sharon. And I want her. Give me 30 days with her. I want Tristan. I want Mitzi. I want Deborah. I want Andy. I want to test what you are doing in his life. I want to test him. Give me some time along with him to test him, to prove he won't be faithful to you. Oh, it's happened to you before, but it's not the last time. We learn from the book of Job as the scriptures open that there was the day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord. And Satan came also and said, God said, have you considered my servant Job? And he said, yeah, but up until this point, it's all been you and your protection. Give me just a little while with him, and I will see if I can cause this to happen in his life, in his heart. Job passed the test. You read at the end where God said, Job never charged God foolishly. Now, he was wrong about his righteousness. He was wrong about his perfection in God. But in all of Job's hurt, when he lost his camels, he lost his sheep, he lost the donkeys, he lost the cattle, he lost his barns, he lost his kids. Think of that. In all of that hurt, he never charged God foolishly. Charge, what do you mean by charge God foolishly? You've got a credit card, don't you? You put something on your account, you got a right to put it there, right? What if someone steals your card and your number and they charge something? That's a false charge, right? Well, Job didn't charge God with nothing that shouldn't be on his account. He didn't say, you don't have a right to do this. You shouldn't have done this. Prove to me your authority. He didn't charge God foolishly. So now we got strife. Now we're going to enter into the great misunderstanding. Verse 36, what does it say, Tristan?
Then said he unto them, But now he that hath a purse, let him take it, and likewise his scrip. And he that hath no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one.
So here's the great understanding. He mentioned the word sword, and we know what Peter's mind went automatically to was the sword, the sword. He's telling us we got to get a sword. Now, if I say to you, Sharon, before you leave, you're going to have to go to the refrigerator and get me something, cook me something to eat. And because you agree to it. What's wrong with that? None. But the timing of it, you can get wrong. If you get up from this Bible study before we're through and you go over and start making us supper, what am I going to say?
Are you stupid?
What are you doing? Sharon, not right now. And the door and the opportunity for this is going to come in, right?
Yeah.
Jesus meant the sword, but he didn't mean before he died. So now you take a man. Let's take Peter. Let's get inside Peter. Do you believe he loves Jesus?
Yes.
Jesus shows up on his boat. And Andrew says, Peter, this is the one I've been telling you about. And Jesus says, take us out. And I ain't going out. We done been out there. I know what I'm doing. I do this for a living. And he says, Peter, just go out. And Andrew says, do what he says to do. Just do what he says. And then he sees the miracle of the fishes. And his mind is blown. And he gets back. And Jesus calls him to follow him. Now Peter leaves his wife and his kids behind. Figure that out. Mommy, where's Daddy? Well, he's following Jesus. Daddy coming home today? No. Would you say that's love? Yeah. I'd say he loves Jesus to answer the call, to stay away from your wife and your kids. Do you know what he's fixing, what he's going to be, he's agreeing to miss in his kids' lives? Everything. So he says yes to the call. And he gets with Jesus. And he sees Jesus start teaching in these synagogues. And it's blowing his mind, the knowledge and how his wisdom is able to stand up against the Pharisees that all the people care less about, and the scribes. And he's awed by his wisdom. And he walks with authority. And there's a presence that is demanding of him. And he sees him, he walks with him day after day, month after month, year after year. He heals his mother-in-law, who's sick of a fever. He sees him raise the dead. He sees him heal the lepers. He spent day and hours and months and years. This man has accumulated a deep, deep love and relationship with Christ. Right?
Yes.
That's agreed upon? How could you not? He's totally mesmerized with Christ. Peter's strong, robust. He's a man's man. And Jesus is the man's man of all men's man. And he's got Peter's attention. I like this guy. He puts these people in their places. Peter loves him with all of his heart. There's nothing Peter wouldn't do for him. Now, what can you do for this man that is done for everybody else? What can you possibly do to help this man, Jesus? How can you help him? What can Peter do? What can he do for Jesus to show that he loves him?
Defend him.
If it come to it, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, he can't really look to Jesus and say, you're sick today, be healed. He can't do that. He can't say, well, you need food, I'll give you something to eat. He can't say, well, you got a headache, well, let's take it to someone who can. He can't do none of this. Peter can't do nothing for the one he loves greatest. Isn't that terrible? Mm-hmm. What can Easton do for me? Except jump in my lap and give me $100 hug.
You owe him.
Yeah, we was at a place last night, Christmas lights over at, where was that place?
Over at Bailey.
Baylor, and it's free, or it's $10. We didn't pay for it. And Gigi never said, hey, I hadn't got my hug yet. And of course, he comes running over and jumps up in her lap and gives her a big hug. And she said, oh, those are good hugs. And I said, tell her those hugs cost $0.25 apiece. And he didn't tell her. And he hugged her again. I said, now that was $1 hug. So he gave her a big hard hug. I said, that was a $10 hug. So he got off her lap and he said, you want me to give you my $10 hug? I said, yeah. He gave me a big old hug. I said, wow, that was a $100 hug. And he said,
I'm going to be rich.
I'm going to be rich. And he said, out of the mouth of babes, he said, that's okay. I'll just take the $10 from you instead of $100. Oh. So before we left, we was at the car leaving, and he reminded, what did he say?
Well, he said, his daddy said, because he wanted a snow cone, and his daddy said, well, we have cookies and cream ice cream at home, so let's wait till we get home. And I said, ooh, cookies and cream ice cream. I think we're going to come over. He said, well, when you come over, you got to pay me.
Yes. So he loves me. What can he do for me? He can't build me nothing. He can't really buy me nothing. He can't come over here and really do nothing to help me. What can Peter do for Jesus? What do you do for someone that you love more than anything else? Paul Stafford, can I use him? What a man of love. You can love this man so deep, and it goes so deep that really, no matter what you do for him, you really ain't done nothing for him. And you can fall in love with someone to where you just love them so much. When me and, I want to say something about me and Deborah, but when we first got married, she would tell me, "You don't need me." And I'd say, "What do you mean I don't need you?" She said, "Well, it's almost as though you can get along without me." And I had to say, "Sweetie, I was raised up all by myself, had no one in my life. I wasn't used to having someone with me. I was independent." And as the years go by, I had to break down and show her, and so she could see, I do love you. My independence isn't because I don't need you. I do need you, and I do love you. And I don't know what I'd do if I lost you, if my life was apart from you. But there's nothing, sometimes we can feel like we can't do nothing for nobody. They're unreachable. And this was Peter's relationship with Jesus. I can't do nothing for him. He's got it all. But the door opened up for him to be able to prove that he did love Jesus. Jesus said, "Get a sword." So now we have the great misunderstanding. And then you have Peter's thinking in his mind, he's already planning, he's preparing, because Jesus has told him that they're coming. And now he's planning in his mind. He's not asleep no more, he's wide awake. The arrest comes, and they come to arrest Jesus. Peter is going to prove to Jesus that he loves him. He's going to prove to him. If Sharon was going to prove to me by making us a meal, I would greatly love that and appreciate that. But if she doesn't use the right timing, I'm probably going to say something I shouldn't, which is going to hurt her, which is going to totally hurt our relationship. So when Peter's going to get that knife and he's going to go fight to prove Jesus, he wants to prove to Jesus that he loves him. I'll defend you. I'll back up what I said. He's backing up what he said. I'll die for you. He started the fight. Nothing he said so far is not true. It's true. He's backing it up. The arrest takes place. And here's the problem right here. You can't see it here, but if you look to in Matthew, when you go to, okay, let's take up to this. The arrest takes place. The man's ears cut. Malchus, his ears cut. Just totally severed. Swagger says he thinks that he was trying to get his head, but he bent over and got his ear. That would probably make sense, but anyway, he cuts his ear off, and then here's where this sets in. Up until now, there's been no hurt. But here's where this comes in, and it's in Matthew. It's not in Luke. It's in Matthew 26, 52 and 54, please. Peter is not expecting a rebuke from the one that he loves. 52, 53, 54. What does it say, Sharon?
It says, "Then said Jesus unto him, Put up again thy sword into his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? But how then shall the scripture be fulfilled that thus it must be?
Now, the rebuke has come. How do you think Peter feels? Let me ask you a question. What if you love someone so much and you wanted to express your love for them and you chose whatever manner to do it? And they took it and they said, I don't want that. What would that do to you? I don't want that. Put that down. I don't want it.
Make you mad and confused.
It would lead to anger. What else would it do? What would it make you do? With your relationship with this person, what would it make you do?
Well, you'd go the other way.
You go the other way. I can't help you then.
Rejection.
I've tried to help you. I've tried to prove to you I want to help you, but you won't let me help you.
Disappointment. Great disappointment.
You won't let me help you. Have you really wanted to help someone so bad? You spend years and years and years, and your goal is to help them, but after all of it, they won't let you help them. They don't want your help, this kind of help. They want the help that they want from you, but they don't want that help that you've tried to prove to them that you love them. I've done X, Y, Z for 1 year, 2 years, 30 years, 4, whatever, how many years, but you don't want my love.
Their own terms. They want their own terms.
On their own terms. So Peter, Jesus, didn't do this in a corner. He did it in front of all the other disciples. I don't want that. Put it down. I don't want that gift. I don't want that. Put it down. And all the other 100 soldiers or however many showed up heard it. Peter's embarrassed. You've hurt me. You spurned me. You've told me, you spit on my gift towards you. You spit on my evidence that I'm trying to prove what I would do for you. I tried to prove to you what I would do for you in here, and you spit on it. That's what he feels. So, throw the knife down. You don't want this. Reminded me of Daddy. I remember one of the last meetings I had with Daddy. We was in his, God bless his heart, we was in his trailer. And I don't know, was I 19 years old? So, 20, just a kid. And he sat down, and he got a piece of paper, and I was visiting him in his trailer, as I always did last days, and he got a pen out piece of paper. And he said, now, and starts drawing this piece of paper, and starts telling me about sheet metal. And I'm going to show you what to do with sheet metal. Well, at that moment, I could care less about sheet metal. I just want to be a preacher. I'm still young. And I said, well, Daddy, I put my hand on a piece of paper and pen, and I put it back to him, and I said, I don't want to be sheet metal. I want to be a preacher. And then he took the pen and went, I just heard him. Didn't mean to, but he tried too late. You should have tried a long time before you waited till your last few hours of moment to try to give me a lesson in sheet metal. But nonetheless, he was trying to teach me, trying to show me at that moment before he left, he loved me, and I spit on it. And I heard him. I know it hurt him deep. So Peter says, well, fine. He walks away. He walks away from the soldier. Come get him. Come get him. So it's at this moment that he walks away from his faith. Because Jesus said, I prayed for you that your faith won't fail. What got you into a relationship with me, I pray that it's here after this eclipse is over, that your faith will still remain. He pulled his faith out of Christ and said, I don't want nothing else to do with you. I'm done. Nothing else. So therefore, when he's warming himself by the fire and someone says, aren't you? And he says, I don't know him. He wasn't denying him because he was weak or because he wasn't strong or he wasn't a man, or he wasn't denying him because he was scared. He denied him because he was hurt.
Wow.
He was hurt. The hurt's inside. He's hurt. What else can he say? Yeah, I'm his disciple, and I tried to protect him back there a while ago, but he wouldn't let me. He said, I don't know him. What can I do for him? At this point, if I say that I'm him, how can I rescue him? I can't rescue him. If I try to, he's going to tell me to get away, stop it. There's nothing I can do because I'm hurt. I'm going to say, I don't know him. I can't change the situation. So therefore, we stay away from relationships, conversation with our kids. We just can't help them. We've tried to help them. They don't listen. So you just back up a little bit more. Try to help a little bit more. They don't listen. Hurt gets deeper. You back up a little bit more. Or parents to kids. I've learned this many years ago when I first started in business, that when I'm dealing with my guys, that I walk a very fine line, that I don't say nothing to embarrass them or hurt their feelings or make them feel like they're underneath or lower than me. Especially in front of customers. I do the opposite. I build them up in front of my customers. Even when they've done what I didn't ask them to do, how I asked them to do it, they did it the back way. I don't come in and say, are y'all stupid or what? What are you doing here? Because I'm going to hurt them, first of all, and how will I mend it back once the hurt gets in? Now, the hurt's there, right? It's in Peter. And Jesus has got to get the hurt out. The divorce has happened. Satan has been successful. He's created a rift between him and the disciples, between Jesus and the disciples, to where Jesus don't have time to fix it. How's it going to be fixed?
After the resurrection.
Me and Deborah, we can have a knockdown drag out and throw food and pull wires from the wall. Throw Christmas.
Bust holes in the wall.
Yeah. But after some period of time, there's a moment that comes in when we can pick the Christmas tree back up and make it stand back up and call the electrician to put the wires back in the walls and fix the car that we pull the wires out of. Time comes back when the situation between us, the hurt, can be fixed and resolved. What are we going to do at this point? The divorce has happened. Satan wanted to do it right there at this moment so Jesus don't have time to go back to make it better. He's been able to heal the blind eyes. He's been able to raise the dead. He's been able to heal the lepers. But how can he go back to take this hurt out of Peter's heart when he's fixing to die? He can't do it. Do you see the great plan that Satan had in demanding a trial for Peter and his disciples at this particular time? He's very cunning, isn't he?
Yes.
Very cunning.
Yes.
Have you heard people's testimony? Their child died, and the last thing they remembered was had an argument before they left.
Yeah.
Can't go back and fix it. Can't go back and change it. Your spouse left. They were in an argument. They didn't say goodbye. Didn't say you loved them. Got out there on the freeway, had a wreck, and they died. And she said, they're saying, if I would have just said I loved you before they left. But the hurt's still in the heart. And it's going to be there until the day that person dies. Hurt is never going to get over. But we still have a chance to make it right, to get the hurt out of us. Even in relationships before we're married with people that we love, that can hurt us. They hurt us deeply. And what do? We walk away from them. Sometimes it's justifiable. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes we get hurt in relationships and people go from one relationship to another, to another, to another, to another, all because of hurt. They get hurt on one relationship and they jump right into another. And the healthy thing is, if you're hurt in a relationship, stay out of relationships until God can deal with the hurt that's in your heart or the relationship that you just left that you're hurting over. We're going to put hurt on top of hurt, on top of more hurt, on top of more hurt, and you're not going to listen to nobody. Everybody's right, everybody's wrong, and you're right. How many times have I been there?
Yeah.
But now we've got to do something about the rebuke has come. The hurt in Peter has started at Jesus' rebuke. Verse 32, I shared that with you about the eclipse. The eclipse has happened. Now, do you see what Jesus said in verse 32? You see that word converted? When thou art converted, when you've returned, he's actually telling Peter, when you come back, Peter, come back to what? Come back to faith in me. Someone said, I don't believe you can lose your salvation. You can't. You can't lose your salvation. Do y'all agree?
Yes.
Can you walk away from your salvation? You can walk away from your faith.
Yes.
You can say, I'm through with this. I don't want nothing else to do with it, and walk away. And that's what Jesus is telling Peter. You don't want nothing else to do with me no more. You're walking away from your belief in me. You laid it to the side. But when you return, give you some space. Space so that I can deal with this that's within you. After I deal with but how's he going to deal with it? He's going to the cross. When did he deal with the hurt that was in Peter?
After the resurrection.
After the resurrection. He said, you're coming back, Peter. Let's find out where he dealt with it. Because this is very interesting as we close. We call this the redo. You got it down there?
Yeah.
A great redo and affirmation. We're gonna redo the last night we had together. Let's start over. How many times has Deborah come to me? We've had a conversation, some sort of disagreement, and she said, "Can we start over?" Or I come to her, "Can I start over?" We reach back to do the great redo. Can we just redo? Can we start over afresh and just start? And we both say, "Yeah, let's start over." And you start opening the door up to make things bright and better again, and to heal and to get over the hurt that's in there. And so Jesus has a great redo in John chapter 21, verse 15 through 19. This is the last Passover supper meal didn't go well, so let's have a redo. Jesus said, let's have a redo. At this meal, Jesus will address the same things Peter proclaimed at the previous Passover supper with him. It's very interesting. Verses 15 through 19, please, Mitch, if you have it.
So when they had done, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these?" He saith unto him, "Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee." He saith unto him, "Feed my lambs." He saith to him again the second time, "Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me?" He said unto him, "Yes, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee." He said unto him, "Feed my sheep." He saith unto him the third time, "Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me?" Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, "Lovest thou me?" And he said unto him, "Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee." Jesus said unto him, "Feed my sheep."
Only Jesus can bring up a hot button in Hot Topic.
Well, he had to be, his mind, he had to go back.
He had to.
I mean, last time I tried to prove I loved you, look.
Yes, and Peter starts on, I can't prove it to you. So it's the last one. Now let's open it up, okay?
Verily, verily, I say unto thee, when thou wast young, thou girdest thyself and walkest whither thou wouldest. But when thou shalt be old, thou shalt stretch forth thy hands, and another shall gird thee and carry thee whither thou wouldest not.
Now you just read the affirmation. The last verse you read was the affirmation. The first was the redo. The redo, remember in the Passover supper, Peter told Jesus, if all these forsake you, I won't. Mm-hmm. If all these deny you, I won't. And then he said, I'm even ready to die for you. Remember that? Yes. Those two things he brought up again right here. He says, Peter, do you love me? And that word love means, do you love me a whole lot? Are you in love with me? Peter knows the word he's using by that statement, by that in the Greek, by that. And he says, well, Lord, he uses a different word when he responds, you know that I love you. But he said, you know I love you as a friend and I'm fond of you. That's not what Jesus asked. Jesus said, do you love me a whole lot? Whole lot, Peter. Lord, you know that I love you as a friend. And he's scared to boast of his love. Jesus, knowing how he responded, he said, ask him again, do you love me a whole lot, Peter? And Peter says the same. You know that, Lord, I'm a friend of yours and I'm fond of you. So then he asked Peter the third time, but he asked him, Peter, are you even a friend of mine and you're fond of me? And Peter says, Lord, you know all things and you know that I am. So that's the redo. The affirmation is now he's going to deal with two things. He's going to deal with in Peter's heart that you can't help me. So he says, if you care for me even in the least as a friend, now here's the question. Would you do something for me? Peter's always wanted to do something for him. So now Jesus says, would you do something for me? And that's what Peter wanted to hear. Sure, I'll do anything for you. Would you do something for me? He addressed that. And he said, feed my lambs. Would you feed these other 10? Will you feed them? Will you feed them? And Peter responds to him and says that he will. And now Jesus tells him, now going back to the night, the Passover supper, remember when you said that you would even die for me? He's going to address that right now. Peter, remember when you said you would die for me? Well, I got news for you. You were telling the truth. You're right. Because when you get older, towards the end of your life, that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to die for me. What you've been wanting to do, you've been wanting to do something for me and prove you love me. I'm asking you, after all this hurt and all this pain that you're in, will you do something for me right now? Will you feed these other 10? They're following you, Peter. And just before I leave, I want to tell you, remember when you told me that you loved me so much you would die for me? You were telling the truth because you're going to die for me. It's coming in the future ahead. What must have that done to Peter? The hurt's gone. It's over. It's over. The divorce wasn't successful. What Satan meant for evil, God turned around and turned out for good. He wanted a divorce between Peter, the other disciples and Jesus. Here's the honeymoon. He was not successful. And Jesus goes back into heaven. Right moments later, he's taken up into heaven. And Peter don't have to worry about the hurt that's in his heart that's never been addressed. It's been addressed. The Lord has shown us through Peter the hurt that comes, the walls, the relationships that's damaged, setbacks happen. Not because people don't love each other, not because they don't want to be with each other, not because they don't respect each other. It's because we hurt one another. And the hurt pushes people more away from you. And you're just like the dog. You're like, you're hurt, don't touch me, I'll bite you back. But you don't really want to hurt the person. You're just hurting and you're responding out of your hurt. So what are we going to do? What do we deal with hurt to this extent? What do we do with the smallest hurt to the largest hurt? What do we do with it? Well, number one, recognize it. Recognize that you're hurt. Recognize someone else is hurting, just like you are. When you love deeply, you hurt deeply. Whether it's between you and your kids, you and your spouse, you and whoever else, your pastor, someone in the church. If you love them deeply, you're open and susceptible to be hurt deeply by that person. That person across the street over here can't hurt me. I don't care what she says or does to me because I don't love her like I love other people. I love her generic love, but she can't hurt me. But this man next door, Hal, that I love with all my heart, he can hurt me. He can, because I'm vulnerable. How can he hurt me? Because I love him. When you love people deeply, they hurt you deeply, but they don't mean to. Did Jesus mean to hurt Peter? Yeah. But not at all. But sometimes we hurt people when we didn't even mean to. Yes. How many times have you responded to your spouse and you hurt them and you're like, what happened? Well, you just said so-and-so, but I didn't mean it that way. Or to your kids, I didn't mean it that way when I said it. They took it that way. Peter took it that he don't want me to help him. Peter took it that you just spit on my love for you, trying to show how much I love you. Jesus didn't mean that. He took it that way. So realize you're hurting. Someone else is hurting. And then you got to open the door for affirmation and a redo. Can we start over? And once you do this, and Jesus said, I give you a new commandment. What Jesus was saying was, I'm getting rid of these 10 over here. You with me? Did you hear what I just said? I'm getting rid of these 10 commandments that Moses put everybody under. I'm giving you one commandment, just one. Put these 10 aside. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and love your neighbor as yourself. If you do this, you'll fulfill all those 10. Don't worry about all them 10. Worry about one. Focus on one commandment. Love the Lord your God with all your heart. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love. We're under the commandment of love, not the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments was the Old Testament. The commandment of love is the new commandment that we walk under. I'm commanded to love you. Now, I may walk away from you for a while because I'm hurt, but eventually, if you'll allow me and you'll open the door and I'll open the door, we come back together, do a redo, we'll have an affirmation of each other's love one for another. Let's don't have divorces in relationships. Now, there may be time that you need to walk away because you're stronger than that other person, and they may need more time than you to work out some things in their life. I've been waiting on God to work on someone now for probably 10, 15 years, that I'm waiting for that person to come back to me and make some amends. A couple of different relationships. I'm already there, but they're not. And it's not family members. It's someone else. I'm waiting on them, but I'm giving time for them to deal with this right here. When I didn't mean to hurt you. I had no intentions of hurting you. So you put it in the Lord's hands and you say, there it is, Lord. I've done my part. Now you work on the other person. But let's keep short records, short accounts. If someone's done you wrong, someone's offended you, go to them and say, you hurt me. You offended me. And then make things right. Leave your gift at the altar. Go back and deal with the hurt. Leave your your gift at the altar. Thank you for your gift, son, that you're offering up to me. Thank you for the prayer that you're offering up to me. But take a moment and stop and go deal with the hurt that's in that other person's heart that they think you've caused them. God wants us to deal with the hurt that's in our life. Now, we're closing with the Holy Spirit asking you this question. Are you carrying right now, at this moment, hurt inside you? Don't answer it. Don't want you to answer it. Are you? Are you carrying hurt inside you? If we are, we know what to do. We know how to respond to it. And we know that redos are available and confirmations are available. Any questions?
No.
Any comments? You ready to make that meal now?
Yes, what would you like?